What's up, everybody? This is Nick, and you're joining us once again for a PUC Podcast in the year of the chair. This 2019 year of our Lord, Adano Domini, year of the chair, as the Chinese have called it. But as always, I'm joined by my friend and co-host.
This is Eric.
And Eric, today we're gonna honor another holiday. I'm hoping one day that they'll name a certain day after this Pull Up a Chair podcast day. We'll make it something in the middle.
I don't know, something like September sounds right.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I don't know. But yesterday, March 10th, was Mario Day. Super Mario Day. And I didn't know this was a thing, but I passed a billboard, and
that's where I get most of my knowledge.
Yes,
too.
I do. Yeah, I mean it's a great source. But it showed like the old Mario castle. You know, when the first Super Mario game,
first level, World 1.
Yeah, and then it showed like one of the fireworks going off, and it said "Have a super day."
Super.
And I saw it twice, and so it made me wonder. Why is this Mario thing happening? So I got online and looked. March 10th is Super Mario Day.
Yep, that's what you just told me.
Yes.
I never heard of it before.
I never had either. But it's pretty clever with how they came up with it, because it's March shortened to MAR, and then you have the 10. As you pointed out, it makes Mario. Pretty clever. I mean, it's kind of like May the 4th being,
or Pi Day.
Pi Day.
What's another one? Those are the only ones I can think of off the top of my head of days named after the date. Can you think of any?
I can't think of anything
I
else.
have to look those up. Those are the ones I think of. But Pi Day's Thursday.
Yes.
Hopefully get some free pie.
Well, and I think that it is appropriate that we talk about Mario as he is America's second favorite Italian.
Yep. And Nick, who is America's first favorite Italian?
Oh, that would be Nick Cole.
Nick Cole. Yeah. Who's the third favorite Italian? I know it. Mario Lopez.
Mario Lopez, that's true. It's a tie between him and Sylvester Stallone.
Sylvester Stallone.
I mean, Sylvester Stallone did win freedom from Russia for us in boxing, that Russian in Rocky IV.
Rocky IV, yeah.
I mean, it really was a...
And who played that Russian?
Ivan Drago.
That's the name.
Dolph Lundgren.
Dolph. I was like, Ivan Drago. I was like, that's the name of the character.
Ivan Drago.
That's the character.
I don't care what his real name is. He's always Ivan Drago. He'll forever
be Ivan Drago.
He actually apparently reprised the role for Creed 2.
Did you see Creed?
I saw the original Creed. It was pretty good. I actually enjoyed it.
I heard it was good.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
I never saw that one.
It was a good movie. Dad, I haven't seen Creed 2 yet, but Dad's seen it. Said it was a good movie.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
But I mean, it does play off of Rocky IV. But getting back to the topic at hand, we are going to talk Mario.
I like Mario.
Do you? Did you grow up playing Super Mario?
This takes me back. So here's what's going on. My first game system, a second game system, we had a Atari 64, I think, or Atari, one of the Ataris. Can't remember off the top of my head. But we would go down the ditches around, we lived in the country, and what people do in the country when they want to get rid of litter, such as beer cans, is they just throw them out the window.
Okay.
And so we would go up and down the roads.
You'd find Mario beer.
We would find cans, and we'd bag them and throw them in the trunk.
Okay.
And then we would take them up to get recycled, and that's how we made money to buy half of a Nintendo. Nintendo's cost about $80 or $85, something like that. We got $40 in recycling, which was recycled. We did this for years before the Nintendo even came out. We just do this, and that's so we could use all those cans to pay for a Nintendo. Maybe it's 90. I don't remember. It paid for half a Nintendo, and my dad covers the cost for the other half. And with it came the Mario and Duck Hunt.
Okay.
And that's
you had the double pack.
The double, yeah, that's what I had. And so I want to say we got that in like 89. Didn't the system come out in 87?
Something like that, yeah.
So I think we got that in about 89, and we begged for 2 years. I think we did that for 2 years. We probably collected, of the cans we deposited, half of that. My brother and I found half of them. We would say, hey, stop, there's a can. We would jump out, literally, get a can. We had a sack in the car, and we'd tie it up and just keep going down the road. It was like, hey, there's a bunch of cans. My parents just pulled over and let us get out and start getting cans.
You were correct, actually. The basic set, the controller and the deal, retailed for $89.99, and a US $99.99 bundled with the Super Nintendo or Super Mario Brothers cartridge.
So that means my dad paid a little bit more. We paid, but I think if I remember right, we got about just between $40 and $45 for all our recycling.
Gotcha.
And then Dad took that and went and bought the system.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and so we did that, and of course I played Duck Hunt because we got the gun.
Right.
And this is 2 years later. I think you got the gun with that bundle system, I think.
Right. That was originally, apparently, according to the internet, was $150 when it came out. If you got the gun,
but
the controller, and the...
This is just 2 years later, I think.
Right.
So it went down, I believe. I can't entirely remember.
It did.
And so that's how we got Mario and Duck Hunt. And of course, Duck Hunt was fun. Whatever, until you start missing, that dog laughs at you, you shoot the dog. Doesn't do nothing. But we played a ton of Mario all the time, and I have an older brother. Mario is 2-player.
Right.
And so I'd be Luigi.
Okay.
So
yeah, I would too.
Yeah, yes. you have an older brother.
I have a brother too.
So, yes. So I have a lot of memories of playing Mario, and I know we got Mario 2, but I don't think I played Mario 2 as much. When we got Mario 3, which is so different, because you can play as Toad and Princess, and it was just a different...
Well, no, Mario 2 was the one you could play as Toad and Princess.
Oh, was that one?
Yeah.
And that's the one I played a bunch. What was that one?
Mario 3 was the one that had like the raccoon suit and
I think I had 1, 2, and 3. I don't know. 2 was the one that had Princess was so different.
Yes, like you could float with the princess.
Yeah, that's why you got her, because you could float.
Luigi could jump high. Mario was kind of a mix, and then Toad was like really strong.
Yeah, he could throw.
That game was just apparently a reskinning of a game that was called Doki Doki Panic. In Japan, for America, they put the Mario characters on top of it, I guess just for familiarity.
So was that a Nintendo game in Japan then?
Yes.
Okay.
Or Famicom.
Famicom, yeah.
As it was called. But let me ask you this. Did you ever play, back in the Atari days, did you ever play, I played it at the arcade with my brother, but the original Mario game.
No, I didn't play. No, I did not play the original.
You didn't play that?
The one where it's...
You're Mario and Luigi, and they have like different they have weird crabs and things.
Yeah,
turtles.
No, I never played that.
I remember when I had played that game, and it wasn't a game I was thrilled with. And then I remember seeing a game called, of course, I also knew Mario from Donkey Kong.
Yeah,
I mean everybody.
But when he called something else, was it still called Mario?
I think it was Super Jumpman.
Super Jumpman, and the princess was Priscilla.
I think you may be right. I'll have to look that up. But anyway, so I remember this game came out, and I didn't know what it was. And of course, this brand has exploded from there, as we've kind of already talked about. But we'll talk more about that here in a second. But in America, they gave us Part 2, which was an entirely different game. Actually, was a game I played a lot of. I enjoyed.
You like 2?
I did.
I liked it too. I thought it was 3 though. I remember playing 3 also, because I had 1, 2, and 3.
It was so different in the fact that you could be any of those characters, but you went through. I mean, it introduced characters like Birdo,
yeah,
and then the people with the little guys that have the mask on their face, and then King Toad Wart, and I mean, I played through that game quite a bit, and then Super Mario Brothers 3 came out, which was originally little trivia fact for you, because I went and saw this movie in the theaters. A movie called The Wiz.
Oh, I saw The Wiz, yeah.
Yeah, that's when Super Mario Bros. 3 was like first introduced. Of course, they also, if I remember correctly, they have the glove.
Yeah, the glove was,
which they ended up coming out with and was terrible.
Yeah, because in 3 you have the mini map.
Yes.
And you can kind of pick the
different worlds
or games where it's and you want the ace to come up and you hit that, and you have the memory game basically is all it is.
Yep.
Wow.
Well, they had the memory game. They also had the game that was like a...
Oh, yeah, it slides back and forth.
You have one that goes bottom, and you have to hit A and try to...
Find them up.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of different secrets to that game. There were a lot of... because there was like a level you could get the P-Wing. Remember, it was like the little deal, and you'd go up, and you'd get the flute.
Yep.
The warp flute to warp to the... I mean, there were all sorts of different things to do in that game, and it was a great game. I mean, you got it's famous for giving you the raccoon suit, the tanuki suit, put him in the frog suit. I mean, it had all these different suits you could put on.
The frog suit always bothered me because he swam too fast, and I'd run into stuff.
Yes, like he'd get away from me.
Yeah, you could go really quick with the frog suit.
Right.
So I'd always just run into a squid or something.
Yes. I mean, I'd do that too. I didn't like the frog suit, and then I'd accidentally use it on a non-water level.
Oh, just jump.
And I'd just be like, "Oh my gosh, this is terrible," because he goes so slow.
He goes slow, yeah.
I mean, it was I mean, it wasn't a great thing when you. I wasn't a fan of that one. I didn't like the one I used the most was the raccoon suit for obvious reasons. The Hammer Brothers suit I thought was a cool.
Yeah, it was harder to get though.
Yeah, it was. There was secrets to that too.
Yeah, you had to there's ways to get it.
Right. There was.
You could accidentally get it. You're like, how did I get this? Oh, this is cool. Because you could throw hammers and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you'd throw hammers at the enemy.
Yeah, and you could kill him. It was easy.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. And of course, you get to the end of that game, and then you have the big.
Is it the ship?
Well,
the cannonballs.
Yeah, they have different ships. Like each one right before they had the ship, and then you'd get at the end Bowser. You just stand on these bricks, and he jumps up and hits the bricks. And they slowly go away, and then he falls through.
Yep.
And then they did the funny ending where it is Mario, your princess is another castle, and it was like, no, just kidding. Is you run and see her or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean it was. I mean that was a great game on the. It was kind of the final send off for the Nintendo.
Yeah. What was it 94, 95?
I think so.
Yeah, because
we've talked about that before when the Super Nintendo came out, and then of course.
Yeah, the SNES.
Yeah, then we got what was the next game in the Mario franchise? Because
I don't know. Look it up because I don't know if I played it because I never had any. I never had a Super Nintendo. I played on the Nintendo 64. I played on that one, but mostly GoldenEye and Mario Kart.
So the next game was the Super Mario World.
Yeah, I don't remember that one. I never played it.
That's the one that introduced Yoshi. Now I didn't play this.
Oh, I remember this one. Yeah, I didn't play this a lot. Rarely did I get to play this because only a few people had Super Nintendos.
Right. And I honestly I didn't have a Super Nintendo.
Me neither.
I played this later on in a way that allowed me to do it on a computer.
Oh yeah.
Versus when
in the freeway.
The good old days. When the internet was the Wild West and there were things called emulators and ROMs.
Yeah, a bunch of ROM sites got shut down.
Yes,
about a year ago.
Yep,
all the big ones did, from if I remember right. So
there was another game introduced, kind of on the Super Nintendo that I actually played when it came out because I had a friend that had a Super Nintendo.
What was it?
It was, and this is a big one. A lot of people don't remember this, but the original Mario Kart was on the Super Nintendo.
Man, I played a Mario Kart a lot. Did I not play it on the Super Nintendo? It was on 64 for sure, right?
It was.
That had the crazy. That had the the weird controller.
Right.
I remember that controller. And that's where we played GoldenEye, right? I mean, that's GoldenEye.
Right. That was the N64 was GoldenEye.
I think I've played it with using the same method you played.
I mean, it looked a lot different.
Yeah, it looks way different. Yeah, I played that, but it was not ever, yeah, it wasn't much.
Buddy, that was 16-bit graphics right there. It was the future.
It was
Games were never going to be as good as what we experienced. I actually, after playing the N64 version, I went back and I played the Super Nintendo version on a emulator once again.
And you're like, this is garbage.
It was compared to how the other game moved.
Yeah.
And how everything went, which I hear, I haven't done it, but I hear that if you go back and play after you've played the new ones, if you go back and play the N64 one, it moves like a clunker.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah. I
mean, I have a Switch and I own Mario Kart. I don't play it much because I play Rocket League mostly. However, it's really fun. I enjoy it. I like going online and playing Battle Royale with people.
Do you?
Battle, like where you powers and balloon. The balloon one. Whatever they call that mode. Battle mode.
Battle mode?
I think it's what they call it, battle mode.
Okay. Did you ever play any of the Game Boy ones?
No, I never owned any handheld gaming system until the Switch.
Okay,
they were way too expensive.
I never played any of those either, but that's also where Wario, who became extremely popular, was introduced. There was also a game called Yoshi World, and I mean, we can sit here and we can talk about all of the Mario games that came out in a row, but I mean, honestly, and I don't want to take up too much time with this, the Mario games the franchise has just exploded to where there's tennis, there's Mario karting.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all sorts of things that this franchise is just.
Yeah, there's a theory that all the Mario characters are actors.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a theory about that.
Explain this theory to me.
Well, it goes on, like, if you want to thematically connect all the worlds and all the Mario experiences, you can't really connect them because in some games, Mario is fighting Bowser, but in other games, Mario and Bowser are friends.
Wait, what games are they friends?
You can they can be on the same team and like in the tennis games and stuff.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, you can compete with them. So the idea is that they're all actors, and there's some theory about it and supporting material. Haven't really got into that because I don't care. Like, I don't care. It's a game, but that's just one of the theories I heard. So, okay. I don't know if it's true. Go look it up.
That they're all just playing.
Yeah, they're playing. They're just actors. That there's always this concept of like creating universes and thematically connecting all the games and all the different pieces.
I got you.
And that's what they've done to Mario.
Did you ever play Mario Tennis?
I think I've played it, but I never owned it as like somebody's house or I rented it or something.
Okay.
Like probably somebody's house, because that didn't come out till Mario Super Nintendo, right?
Yes.
And I think I've played it, but
I think it actually didn't come out till N64, if I'm correct.
Did it be somebody else's house?
Somebody I'm sure will correct me on that. I don't know when it actually came out.
I want to say, actually, my favorite game I ever played on the Super Nintendo was that Bible Arc game where you had to, it was a cartridge and you had to stick another cartridge on top of it because it didn't have licensing. It was an aftermarket game.
Wasn't that the Game Shark?
Game Shark did the same thing.
I loved the Game Shark because it let me beat games.
Yes, but the thing is, the Game Shark just messed with the bits and at the bit level and just kind of changed a few of them as it passed through it. But you'd put the Game Shark in, then the game on top of it, right?
Yes.
Or same for the Nintendo, you'd put the Game Shark at the end and then shove it into the Did you do it in the Nintendo?
I believe so. Yeah,
I think so too. So, but how the this Bible art game work, and we've talked about this on the podcast before. I'm sure our listeners have know all about it.
I'm sure they have. I mean, you've talked about it before, but please indulge us again.
So
how was it related to Mario?
It wasn't. Super Nintendo. It's my favorite Super Nintendo game.
It was Mario in the Ark.
It was basically Doom.
Was it really?
Yeah, it was like you went like through these hallways and found stuff like old Doom.
Huh. Was it
more like Wolfenstein? I'll say more like Wolfenstein.
Was it a wait? So you said Ark? Was it like a
Noah's Ark?
Noah's Ark game?
Yeah, we've looked it up. They wouldn't officially license it, so they couldn't sell it with the games had like official circuitry or some firmware in them. I don't remember, and to validate them. And so they wouldn't license this game out. The Nintendo refused to. So they released it, but to get around it, you just stuck another game on top of it. It passed the signal through to verify the game was original.
Okay.
And then it would play. And it was the game had by kind of that weirder like friend's parent.
I could see that.
And you're like, where did you get this? And I talked to my friend, and he would be like, "This is the only game we're allowed to play on like without supervision."
There was an episode of The Simpsons where they did something like that.
Oh yeah,
they were making fun of that game. It was the Flanders kids. It was the only game they were allowed to have.
Yeah,
and they would shoot people to turn them into Puritans.
That's great.
That was the game, and Bart was really good at it.
Oh, nice.
But I want to go back to some of these games. I just pulled up a list of all the Mario games.
The Mario games?
Yeah.
From the beginning?
From the very beginning forward. Well, let's see here. It seems to be missing a few. Oh, wait. I hit a button and it went farther. I'm getting into the dark web now, Eric.
Be careful, Nick. They'll start tracking
you. They'll know who I am. But, I mean, there's some games on here that I had never heard of. There's the Mario Time Machine.
I've never heard of that game.
I never have either. I do remember going over. So my mom used to babysit these kids, and they were kids of the people that used to coach my basketball team. But one time I went to go to babysit them one night when the parents went out. I went to go babysit them, and they had a Nintendo. They stayed at their grandparents' house. The grandparents had quite kind of a bit of money.
Okay.
They lived on a golf course, but they had this Nintendo. It may have been even a Super Nintendo, but they had this game. I remember I put it in because I was like, I've never heard of this game. And so you played as Luigi, and Mario had been kidnapped, and you have to go around a different locations, and you have to answer questions. Like you could go talk to people and get information, and then you had to answer some of Bowser's like the bad guy's questions about the like.
It's like a detective game.
It is. You're getting information about, say, like you ended up in Philadelphia, and it'd be.
Is it Carmen Sandiego, Rob?
It kind of had a Carmen Sandiego-esque vibe to it. And I wish I knew what that game was, and I'm sure someone listening may even be able to tell us what that is.
Well, if you can know it, comment on either Facebook, tell us on Twitter, or go to the Podbean episode and you can comment there as well.
Yeah, so I mean, if you know what game I'm talking about, please tell me, because this is going to kill me. I'm looking at the wiki for Mario's Time Machine. Buddy, this looks like a winner. Out of 2 reviews, it got a 60.25. But the storyline is Mario's Time Machine is set in the year 1993. Bowser, who has built a time machine called the Timulator.
Timulator, okay.
Yeah, I'm the Timulator.
Is it trademarked?
I hope so. If not, James Cameron has a new Terminator.
It's
a Terminator that can time travel.
It sounds like Avatar also, so it's like a crossover.
It may be the Timulator. But he travels back in time and steals essential artifacts from various points in human history to place on display in a museum inside his castle. Because these actions will eventually change history permanently, the player character Mario takes the control of the Timulator to return the artifacts to their proper areas in time. In the NES version, Bowser also kidnaps Yoshi. So in the NES version, he ups the stakes. This was originally put out on the MS-DOS.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he ups the stakes, who is freed upon completing the game. The gameplay focuses on teaching the player the historical significance of each artifact and of the associated historical person. To progress through the game, the player must correctly answer questions related to the learned information.
This is like a quiz game.
Well, you know what it is? It's Carmen Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego.
Yes. Did you play the Carmen Sandiego game? Carmen Sandiego games?
I did.
I did as well. I played them on the PC.
By the way, I just found that game that I was talking about. It's called Mario is Missing.
Okay. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it is. When I saw the list, I pretty much should have picked up on it right away. But it was also released on the MS-DOS.
What year?
That was a 1992.
Okay.
Re-released in 93. But this is... I remember this game and just thinking how bizarre a game this was. I didn't play it for very long because it didn't interest me.
Because it had learning.
Because it had learning. I had to learn.
How to read and memorize.
It made me use my thinking muscle, and I don't... Nick no like that. It hurt Nick head. But, I mean, there has been a number of Mario games, just looking at this list. You've got tennis. You've got a game that you played, Mario Rabbids.
That's a great game. I beat that game.
Did you really?
Oh yeah, I 100%ed it.
Didn't they come out with some Donkey Kong levels?
Yeah, 100% of those. Yeah. No, I haven't 100% of those yet though. And those are good levels too. My kids are like, "Hey, we should play that." I'm like, "It's not installed. I need to get expansion memory for my Switch."
Okay.
Because Fortnite takes like 25 gigs.
You've been playing a lot of Fortnite?
I can't stand it. My son doesn't like it either that much. I think he plays it just to be involved when people talk about it.
So, just so he knows what's going on?
Yeah, he can't stand it. I'm glad it's kind of dying down and Apex is taking over.
Well, buddy, there was also a game called Super Mario Sports. Mario is very proficient in the sports from what I understand. Not from what I understand, but with the number of games he has tennis.
Soccer?
Which, by the way, there's apparently just released or coming out, one of the two.
New Mario Tennis?
Yeah, the new Mario Tennis Aces game. Is it out yet? Or
I think it's out. Yeah, I saw.
Yeah, it came out in 2018.
Yeah, I've seen people play it.
And then he's also in the Super Mario Superstars. He's got football, soccer. That's what we call it here in the
States,
in the Lord's country. But baseball, tennis, golf, and horse racing. I mean, the man does it all.
Yeah, it's not a sport unless you can bet on it.
He's got a golf game.
Yeah, I played Mario Golf.
I mean,
on the 64.
Do you remember? And you might even remember the ads for this, but the crossover, the Mario and Sonic at the Olympics.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Oh yeah.
Do you remember the commercial where it's like the mascot Mario and the mascot Sonic the Hedgehog like racing?
Yes, I do remember those commercials.
Which, let's be honest, Sonic the Hedgehog would just blow him away.
Yeah. Hey, are you going to see the new Sonic movie?
No.
Me neither.
It looks...
Sonic looks terrifying.
Well, yeah, the legs look too human.
Yeah.
He looks way too human.
Super anthropomorphic.
Yes. Super anthropomorphic man. I like that. But, I mean, he's got race cars in Mario Kart. The man, he's got golf. I mean, there is a bunch. The man knows his sports, which actually Mario Golf was kind of fun. I did play that.
What's your favorite Luigi game?
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Did you know he's not going to get a day? The one where you suck up Ghost with the vacuum cleaner.
Well, that was his big game. Actually, I'm going to take that back. Mario is Missing is my favorite Luigi game.
Oh, that's good. I like it.
You know what? If you want to find out more about Mario is Missing, go look it up.
Yeah, go experience it yourself.
Go to your local emulator store and get the ROM and play Mario is Missing. You'll learn a lot about our country and our history, as you should. Did you ever play Mario 64? It's a classic game by many people's standards.
I know I've played it, but I don't think I beat it or played through it.
I beat it. I didn't do what everybody else. Now my sister and my brother, or my sister-in-law and my brother.
Did you have a 64?
They did.
Oh, okay.
I did not. I had one much later, but I played after it. Actually, I bought Ryan's.
Okay.
After the Xbox One or Xbox had already come out and all that stuff.
Okay.
But it was it. I played all the Legend of Zelda. I didn't really play the Mario game on there, but
okay.
My brother Shane and his wife, they really enjoyed it.
Really?
And they would try to get all the stars and 100% it and that sort of thing. And I know that's what a lot of people tried to do, but apparently it was a great game. It's apparently a classic. A lot of N64 games ended up becoming classics.
Is that the 3D one? Mario 64?
Yes.
That's the 3D one. Yeah, I played that one.
Let me just say this. I remember Mario Kart. Do you remember you could actually go off and drive up to the castle?
No.
There was the castle level. There was a path you could get off on.
Oh, really?
And you'd obviously lose, but you could drive up to the castle.
Well, that's clever. The best racing game ever is, what was the name of that game? Oh, shoot. It's like Micro Machines. Best Nintendo racing game ever.
Eric's opinions are not, what's the word they always use, are not
necessarily, what is that? Oh, man.
Yeah, they don't actually go along with what the PUC Podcast. No, I'm just kidding. The Micro Machines game was a great game.
I let a friend borrow it and I never got it back.
Well, yeah, I mean it was an awesome game. That was on you. You shouldn't have let him borrow it.
That was my fault.
Yeah, I mean obviously this friend knew what he was doing.
He played me. He swindled the Micro Machine game.
He swindled Micro Machines. But I mean, Mario has just a very big history in video games. I mean, he's really been.
But does he deserve a day, Nick?
He does.
An entire day.
He does, because I think he was almost in a lot of ways, he was the grandfather of modern gaming, even though they still make games of him. But I mean, he's kind of what started the big craze in the console world.
I mean, yeah. I mean, there were other consoles, but Nintendo was, at least in my generation, the first big console. I mean, there was the Atari, a couple Atari versions.
Yeah.
Atari 2600. I think that's what I had, 2600.
Right.
But the Nintendo was the Christmas gift.
It was.
Of course, I didn't get it for 2 years, and I got it in the summer. But it was the Christmas gift. You know how that happens. There's a gift every year, and that was the gift. But yeah, I got to give it to you. Mario is the recognized lineage of gaming today.
Yeah, I mean, he was kind of the launching pad. And it was really Mario's Time Machine and Mario is Missing that really solidified him as the...
And those were done on, of course,
the pinnacle of gaming.
Did you have a computer you could play games on?
I did, but it was ColecoVision.
Did you really have ColecoVision?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
It had the little cassette tapes, and when the cassette would like, cassettes break.
Yeah.
When that happened, it was toast.
Oh, really? I would go over to
my favorite game was the Buck Rogers game. It was awesome.
Was it good?
Yeah.
My favorite. Well, I used to go over to the computer section and look at all the games, and just was overwhelmed by the number of DOS games and Windows 3.1 games. So, all right, I heard the alarm go off.
Yep, that was our time. Well, Eric, it was fun going down memory lane and talking a little Mario. It's fun to go down that way. But Eric, why don't you tell them what way to go down in order to find us?
Nice segue. You can find us all over the internet, of course. Facebook, YouTube, Podbean. Just search for Pull Up a Chair Podcast. Look on every podcasting app, Pull Up a Chair Podcast. If you want to find us on Twitter, it's at Pull Up a Chair Pod. That is us. You'll see our pretty triangle. Other than that, we have our own website, pucpodcast.website, pucpodcast.website. Why website?
Why not?
Why not? And that's about all the places you can find us.
I think that is. And that's about all the time we have. We want to thank you for listening. If you have any comments or want to correct us on anything, or just say, hey, you guys are great, we like you. You know what? Leave us a comment in any of the apps. Leave us a comment anywhere you can, and we'll try to get back to you.
Hey, give us some stars or hearts or whatever on iTunes or any of the things.
Whatever it is that
you're listening to us
you want to give. Hearts, stars, or rainbows.
Subscriptions.
Yeah.
Likes. I don't know.
And blue moons.
And blue moons. I like it.
That's
heart, stars, and blue moons.
Hot air balloons they added, and horses' heads. Anyway, you all have a great day, and we will see you later.
Bye.